In this time of the pandemic, where COVID-19 has crippled the world economies, where our government has ordered nationwide shutdown, where hospitals are overwhelmed.
Shortly after, the unthinkable happened.
I was literally stunned and frozen.
And their religious leaders are proven to be frauds. Where do you go to get all your questions answered and to hear what God has to say about this matter? You can only find the answers in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commanding General YAHANNA. We give you scriptural breakdowns of world events and the up and coming world war. We will show you in the Bible where the children of Israel were the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans today would suffer slavery in Jamaica, Caribbean, North, Central, and South America, and other parts of the world. We will show you in the Bible where God said he would send plagues upon the earth before he frees people from this captivity.
The World Health Organization has declared coronavirus a global pandemic.
We will give you the true teaching of the Bible, precept upon precept. To learn more, subscribe today and call the number in the description for I.S.U.P.K. Jamaica. Shalom. Shalom.
Shalom, sir.
This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, 1969, and is run by Commanding General YAHANNA, the man with the rank and the authority to be the leader of the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans at this time. I want to say Yahweh Basham Yahweh Barakatam to the brothers, Yahweh Shama Alatan Basham Yahweh to the sisters. Welcome to our webinars. All right. Topic: murder is wicked. To murder, that's wickedness.
Gun.
But so it is. It's also wickedness to sleep with your sister.
Right.
All right. That's an incestuous relationship, and the Bible speaks against it. All right, we're going to jump straight in the scriptures. 2 Samuel 13.
Another one, gun. Another one, gun. This is the book of 2 Samuel chapter 13 and verse 1. And it came to pass after this that Absalom, the son of David, had a fair sister whose name was Tamar. And Amnon, the son of David, loved her.
All right, Amnon. Amnon,
Okay.
the son of David, loved her. So, this is a sister who was not of the same mother as Amnon. Because remember, David had many wives, and many children.
God.
So, this one now have a sister there. Why stop admire him, sister? And fell in love with his sister. But if you go back to 2 Samuel 12, when Nathan was chastising David,
right, let me see if we can find which other verse. It says, when Nathan was telling David that, let me see if we can find it. Tell him that the sword will not depart from his house.
Okay.
Right.
I think 2 Samuel 12 and 10.
10. Right.
Another one. This is the book of.
Hold on. 10.
No, 12 and 10.
Yeah, man. 10, 11. All right, 10 to 12. 2 Samuel 10 to 12.
Another one. This is the book of 2 Samuel chapter 12, verse 10. Now, therefore, the sword shall never depart from thine house, because thou hast despised me and hast taken the wife of Uriah the Hittite to be thy wife. Verse 11.
Right. So the Most High's name, Nathan, was reading out the verdict to David as given to him by the Most High. So part one of David's punishment was that. All right. 10. Okay, it's not it's not in this one where the Most High told David that he will chastise him as a man.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me tell you what it is. All right, yeah. Continue. 11, read 11.
Another one, verse 11. Verse 11. Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up evil against thee out of thine own house, and I will take thy wife before thine eyes, and give them unto thy neighbor, and he shall lie with thy wives in the sight of the sun.
That's verse 11.
Another one.
The Most High is reading out David's punishment unto.
Another one. Verse 12. For thou.
Right.
Look.
Let's scrutinize that one.
Boy, Kadem.
The Most High reading them, Nathan reading out the punishment that the Most High is going to bestow on David. So not because he's a king mean that he's going to walk free. Just like our politicians today, you know, Donald Trump lead a coup to the White House and him still free.
They
lock up all kind of people, but him don't get locked up. Not so with the Most High. So here now the prophet is reading out the king's punishment. Right? Him saying, the sword shall never depart from your house. In the same way you kill Uriah with this, because you kill Uriah with the sword will not depart from your house. Obviously, you love the sword, so I'm going to keep the sword in your house, right? Now, him also say David was a man who make him urge, get the better part of him. So him say, I'm going to make my I rise up evil against in your own house, and take thy wives before thine eyes, and give them unto thy neighbor, and he shall lie with thy wives in the sight of this sun, right under the sun, out there in the open for everybody to see. You know, this is a show of power. When a man do, using sex to show power. So this is how the Most High, me tell you, the Most High is gangster.
Gun.
So, I mean, imagine somebody if you take your wife and lay with your wife in front of you. That's how serious the Most High is. You kill this man because you want him wife, and you have so much wife, right? You have a visitor from out of town, and rather than you go slay one of your lamb, rather than slaying your lamb to entertain the visitor, you take your neighbor's one lamb.
Gun.
Right. So him can't control his sexual urge, so I'm going to use it same one to punish you. Boy, trust me, you don't want a more gangster punishment than that.
Gun.
Trust me. So, verse 12.
Another one, verse 12. For thou didst it secretly, but I will do this thing before all Israel and before the sun.
Right. So, because when he killed Uriah, no one knew about it but him and Joab. So the Most High say, yeah, you do it secretly, but I'm going to punish you openly. You think I'm going to punish you in secret? I'm going to punish you in front of everybody. No, trust me, you don't want, that's a punishment I would never ever want.
So that, yeah.
It better the Most High slay you and done.
Yeah.
But him do it, make you have to live with it. And when each time you remember, it's because of what you did to the innocent man Uriah.
Yeah.
And we all know that the Most High love David, but I think the Most High make him love get in the way when it comes to punishing. Look how he punish Israel. Trust me. So go back to 2 Samuel. Go back to the scripture now.
Chapter
13, verse 2.
Another one, This is the book of 2 Samuel, chapter 13 and verse 2. And Amnon was so vexed that he fell sick for his sister Tamar, for she was a virgin, and Amnon thought it hard for him to do anything to her.
So I said, boy, a virgin, we can't hold her down and take it. I mean, remember that this man was a prince. Tamar was a princess too. So him every day him walk and him see her and him just can't bear the sight of seeing this lovely woman. Right. So it's the Most High driving that urgent to him, because the Most High was telling remember the Most High tell David, the sword are not going to depart from your house. So it was the Most High sending those urgent this man now to get him to act, to bring on the punishment that he spoke of on David. All right, so Amnon vexed that he fell sick for his sister. and him think hard about, you know, can't do anything to her or anything. But you know, even within Israel, we have what do I call it now? What you say the serpent is again? What the word used to describe the serpent?
Beguile.
No, the serpent, beguile, but he's what?
Slack.
What's the word? What's the word? The sorry. What's the word the scripture used to describe that serpent?
It's lower down.
It was subtile.
Subtile. Gone.
So even within Israel, the Most High can raise up a subtile person just to bring on a punishment on you.
Gone.
All right, verse 3.
Another one can. Verse 3. But Amnon had a friend whose name was Jonadab, the son of Shemiah, David's brother. And Jonadab was a very subtle man.
Subtile man.
Subtile man, Salakia.
So Jonadab would have been cousin to Amnon. So Jonadab sees Amnon. So Jonadab now comes into the picture. Verse 4.
Another one can, verse 4. And he said unto him, Why art thou, being the king's son, lean from day to day? Wilt thou not tell me? And Amnon said unto him, I love Tamar, my brother's Absalom's wife, sister, Salakia.
So obviously this would be a man that he can confide in.
Gone.
I mean, who you going to tell everybody, boy, I love my sister, but can't do nothing about that. That's somebody you would have confided in. So this was a very sly person, very subtle.
Gone.
Who, obviously, this man is not a man who, you know, come out and do things boisterously. Do it just like how the beast would, the serpent would work.
Gone.
But it is just the Most High raise him up to get on with the punishment.
Right.
Continue.
Another one can, verse 5. And Jonadab said unto him, Lay thee down on thy bed, and make thyself sick. And when thy father cometh to see thee, say unto him, I pray thee, let my sister Tamar come, and give me meat, and dress the meat in my sight, that I may eat it, and eat it at her hand.
That I may see it.
Okay, Salakia, may see it, and eat it at her hand.
So you see the subtleness the subtileness that he's bringing out now. Is sly. So come up with a plan. Just pretend like you're sick, man. And lay down in your bed, man, and your father go ask you what happened to you. And just tell him so you're sick and if you make she come dress, cook in front of you. Cook food. All right, 6.
Another one can, verse 6. So Amnon lay down and made himself sick. And when the king was come to see him, Amnon said unto the king, I pray thee, let Tamar my sister come and make me a couple of cakes in my sight, that I may eat it at her hand.
Right, make a couple of cakes, a couple of dumplings, a couple of Johnny cakes or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So this is the scheme now that what the young man name?
Amnon.
Amnon, no, the sly one, the subtle one.
Jonadab.
This is Jonadab plan now at work.
Gone.
So in place sick and tell him the father did come, the king did come and see him. Continue.
Another one can. Verse 7. Then David sent home to Tamar, saying, Go now to thy brother Amnon's house, and dress him meat. Verse 8.
Go to your brother's house and cook for him.
God.
Continue.
Another one can. Verse 8. So Tamar went to her brother Amnon's house, and he was laid down, and she took flour and kneaded it, and made cakes in his sight, and did bake the cakes.
See?
Another one can. Verse 9. And she took slack, yeah. Another one can. And she took a pan and poured them out before him, but he refused to eat. And Amnon said, Have out all men from me. And they went out every man from him.
All right. So she finished cook now and put it out in front of him, set him table before him, but him don't want to eat. Him say, get out everybody in the house. Get out everybody from out here. So they run him out. Run out, clear the house.
Okay.
All right, verse 10.
Another one can. Verse 10. And Amnon said unto Tamar, Bring the meat into the chamber, that I may eat of thine hand. And Tamar took the cakes which she had made, and brought them into the chamber to Amnon, her brother.
Right. Bring it in the bedroom.
Okay.
Right in the bedchamber. Because that's where his plan is supposed to be executed. Now, it's the same way David planned how him going to kill Uriah. And he write the letter, give Uriah and say, deliver it to, right in the hands of Joab.
Okay.
Here now is a scheme now at work within David's house. Continue.
Another one can. Verse 11. And when she had brought them unto him to eat, he took hold of her and said unto her, Come lie with me, my sister.
Come and lie with me, my sister. So she get a shot now.
God.
The subtle man in the house plans work, or so they think. Continue.
Another one can. Verse 12. And she answered him, Nay, my brother, do not force me, for no such thing ought to be done in Israel. Do not thou this folly.
See, then at least they knew the law.
God.
So unlike today,
Right.
then they tell about laws are done away with. She said, there ought to be no such thing done in Israel.
God.
No such thing is to be done among our people. So clear that out of your mind. Snap out of it. That's folly.
God.
All right. 13.
Another one can. Verse 13. And I, whither shall I cause my shame to go? And as for thee, thou shalt be as one of the fools in Israel. Now therefore, I pray thee, speak unto the king, for he will not withhold me from thee.
Right. So she want to get out of his presence now.
Yeah.
Tell him, say, go and talk to the king. He will not tell you no. She just want to get out the room, because from what she said up top, there ought to be no such thing done in Israel. She knew the law.
God.
So this is now she telling him something so that she can get out of that bedchamber.
God.
Right? Because David ain't that stupid to go and say, yes, man, you can have her. Continue.
Another one can. Verse 14. Howbeit, he would not hearken unto her voice, but being stronger than she, forced her and lay with her.
So that's what?
That's rape.
That's rape.
God.
And we know rape is a death penalty.
God.
Yeah. 15.
Another one can, verse 15. Then Amnon hated her exceedingly, so that the hatred wherewith he hated her was greater than the love wherewith he had loved her. And Amnon said unto her, Arise, be gone.
You know, you know what happened here, so now? The island right there, the island must see that he wants to do one.
Gone. Slovakia.
Goodness gracious.
Gone.
You better have him baggy face.
Slovakia.
But this is, oh, you can know it's the most hard work. All the days him have this love for her, and the moment him get her, that love just turn into a hate. I'm just like, after him juice up, you know what? Get up. Come out there, son. Right? So,
Good.
I mean, no woman want to be treated that way.
Right.
Arise, be gone. We know him never say it that nice. Get up, man. Move for yourself. Come out there, son. Be gone. Standard English showing you running somebody.
Good.
Right. 16.
Another one can, verse 16. And she said unto him, There is no cause. This evil in sending me away is greater than the other that thou didst unto me. But he would not hearken unto her.
See? She even feel worse than when he was raping her. She now get that feeling of rejection. This is the kind of feeling now that makes, after a woman have been sexually assaulted, go into a bathroom and bathe for half day, trying to bathe off that shame and that wickedness that just came upon her. And some women, well, out there we don't really hear much cases where they commit suicide, but you know they do attempt most time to kill themselves, overdose themselves with tablets. They risk become serious drug users. You see them and them bore up all part of them. You can, if they do the outside them kind of way, you can know what is happening on the inside. Inside is torn up. So this was the kind of feeling now she was feeling when she said, there is no cause for you to behave this way. This evil in sending me away is greater than the other than thou didst unto me. So in other words, if the Most High never put that feeling on him, maybe we should just take it as, you know, abuse, which is so rampant among our people in today. And, well, almost everybody, but it's one of the things that plagues our people that cause mental breakdown. Yeah, if you're working at or have a friend or research or whatever about what happened, about the kind of people who find themselves in mental institution and mental clinic and mental and psychiatric drug, sex is probably the number one cause. It's generally the number one cause. Right, sexual abuse. And then to go on top of that, this rejection is what is going to make her sad and cry and like she want to kill herself. Probably just go by the balcony and jump off and kill herself. Right? Because it's a terrible thing. So this is what would make her speak to somebody. If he continue to show her love after, maybe she would keep her mouth. Despise him, but you know, keep it hush. But what the Most High say I'm going to do? I shall punish you openly. So no secret thing. So let's see how it unfolds. Continue.
Another one can. Verse 17. Then he called his servant that ministered unto him and said, Put now this woman out from me, and bolt the door after her.
So I'm calling him servant. In the church, I see this word ministered.
Yeah.
And I think it's you going on the pulpit and speaking. It's just service.
God.
Person who's your servant. Right?
God.
You serving others in the truth. In Israel, you're serving your duty to serve a noble, a priest, persons with rank or whatever. You're ministering unto them.
Right.
We don't say it that way in the UPK today, but this is it right here. This man was the one that after a while you probably would call him the British would probably call him a butler.
God.
The one in the house that who runs the house, basically. And say, put this woman out from me. 18.
Another one can. Verse 18. And she had a garment of diverse colors upon her, for with such robes were the king's daughters that were virgins apparelled. Then his servant brought her out and bolted the door after her.
Let's take her out and lock her out.
God.
I mean, what he's going to do, he got an order. So obviously he was nearby, so he know what happened.
God.
But what is he going to do? Continue.
Another one can. Verse 19. And Tamar put ashes on her head and rend her garment of diverse colors that was on her, and laid her hand on her head and went on crying.
You see? Because the way how he put her out, it cut her to the core.
God.
But in Israel now, we don't have to go to the psychiatric clinic. We cry unto the Most High openly. And this is one thing our people have lost. Today, the crying unto the Most High openly now is Jesus, Jesus. Nah. What she do? Put ashes on her head, rip her clothes, and walk in the street. Now everybody going to want to know what happened to the king's daughter. Why is she behaving like this? So that which was done to her in secret is going to come out, just as how the Most High said.
Can.
Continue.
Another one can. Verse 20. And Absalom her brother said unto her, Has Amnon thy brother been with thee? But hold now thy peace, my sister. He is thy brother. Regard not this thing. So Tamar remained desolate in her brother Absalom's house.
Why do you think the scripture put it this way? Desolate. She remained what? Lonely, grieving by herself. Because Absalom tell her, say, hold it down, man. Are your brother? Because Absalom now, obviously him going to be cut to the core. But him having planned, hold it down, he's a brother. Just stay with me, stay at my house. And she remained there under depression by herself, thinking, should I still be alive? Should I talk to somebody about this? My brother said to keep it so I can't talk.
Right.
And at that time, there is no psychiatric drug for it. Your mind requires justice, but you can't get it because of who the perpetrator is.
Can.
So you grieve inside and remain desolate.
Another one can. Verse 21. But when the king heard of all these things, he was very wroth. Verse 22. Slack, yeah.
Now it reached the King David's ears. When King David heard of all these things, he was vexed. But he should remember that what was told to him and realize that because of him to Uriah, the sword indeed is coming into his house now. All right. 22.
Another one gone. Verse 22. And Absalom spake unto his brother Amnon, neither good nor bad. For Absalom hated Amnon, because he had forced his sister Tamar.
So he continued speaking with the brother, make no mention of what happened, but deep down him also was grieving.
Gone.
And that spanned a hatred on him for his brother. Similar to the kind of hatred that is causing murder within Jamaica now. For brother eating, not necessarily a blood brother, but his Israelite brother.
Gone.
Right? Because of something that was done or something that should have been done that didn't do, or just out of grudge. Right? Just being grudgeful. Whatever the cause, this is one of the things that is ripping us today. That hatred for, or simply put, that lack of brotherly love. All right, continue.
Another one gone. Verse 23. And it came to pass after 2 full years that Absalom had sheep shearers in Baal Azar, which is beside Salakia. You say something, sir?
Salaki, no.
Salaki. Which is beside Ephraim. And Absalom invited all the king's sons.
So, you see what happened now? The next scheme coming out, but this time it's not coming from a subtle person. It's coming, the subtlety is not coming from another outside person. It's now coming from the one who is directly hurt or affected.
Okay.
All right, continue.
Another one can.
Invite all him brother. So sheep shearing was a big thing in Israel now. You notice when you read about it in David, when David
Salakia, we have some technical difficulties. I'll just wait till Sir jump back in. You know what I mean? Salakia. All right, so you know what I mean? All right, till Sir come back in, you know what I mean? We're gonna just pick up where he left off. You know what I mean? He's having some technical difficulty right now. So you know what I mean, like Sir was saying, you know what I mean, this time the subtlety is coming directly from somebody from inside the family. You know what I mean? Salakia, sir, you went out for a minute.
So I realized.
Yeah, Salakia.
You're the posse.
Yeah, me hear it. Remote.
Right. So, the subtlety coming from within the house.
God.
Sheep shearing was big time in Israel.
God.
This is the time that you're reaping.
God.
Think of you plant a couple acres of whatever fruit, pineapple, whatever, and then it's time to reap. You're bringing in the fruits,
Yeah.
fruit of your labor. So sheep shearing is a similar thing. You shear the sheep and you get the fleece, and that fleece, which is woolen, goes to wherever it is that they would turn this fleece now into thread, woolen thread, and this woolen thread becomes woolen cloth. And you make what you want to make from that. You weave those now into cloth, and you make what you want to make from that. So, it was a big time in among us, because I remember what I found so interesting too. How many of our people know how to rear sheep today? And originally that was our market,
Right.
sheep rearing. From the time of Joseph in Egypt all the way down. We corner that market. The wool industry, that was us. Lamb meat, that was us. It's something we're going to have. It's going to come back, but with some hard work. That is one of our beautiful garment that we need to put on. To rearing sheep is our culture. There is so much things to learn from rearing sheep. I remember David being a sheep herder. Just by him being the one to take care of the sheep, he was able to build character. Character in which the Most I admire enough to make him king. Take him from being a shepherd to be a king. Because a king in Israel should be just like a good shepherd. A priest in Israel has to be just like a good shepherd. So, sheep shearing going on now, and Absalom having plan at hand to invite all his brothers. Continue.
Another one, verse 24. And Absalom came to the king and said, Behold now, thy servant as sheep shearers. Let the king, I beseech thee, and his servants go with thy servant. Another one, verse 25. And the king said to Absalom, Nay, my son, let us not all now go, lest we be chargeable unto thee. And Slakia. And he pressed him, albeit he would not go, but blessed him.
He said, No, my son, I'm not doing that. Maybe David think, because David now know of the matter. So maybe David realized that, maybe he have something up his sleeve, so I'm not going to grant him his wish.
Okay.
26.
Slakia. Another one, verse 26. Then said Absalom, If not, I pray thee, let my brother Amnon go with me, with Slakia, with us. And the king said unto him, Why should he go with thee?
David suspects something.
God.
Why you want him go with you?
God. David understand war,
Yeah, man. A warrior, so I understand why.
God.
And him know that him not his household, but him not raising any how you put it now? Any softy.
God.
He raising up real warriors around him.
God.
Continue.
Another one, Verse 27, but Absalom pressed him that he let Amnon and all the king's son go with him.
All right, so Absalom keep bothering him, press him. Let them come now. Continue.
Another one can. Verse 28. Now Absalom had commanded his servants, saying, mark ye now when Amnon's heart is merry with wine. And when I say unto you, smite Amnon, then kill him. Fear not. Have not I commanded you? Be courageous and be valiant.
In other words, he was saying, he's telling them, don't be afraid, it would be on me.
Okay, good.
Me giving you the command.
Good.
Right. And here now, this is one thing in UPK, what we learn as well. The man over you giving you the command, even if it's not so much right, it is on him, not the one carrying out the act, but on the one giving the command. So you better give righteous command.
Good.
Understand? This is how it works in Israel. So Absalom was telling them the same thing. Don't be afraid. Even if you are caught, I will have to be the guilty one because I give you the command. Continue.
Another one can. Verse 29. And the servants of Absalom did unto Amnon as Absalom had commanded. Then all the king's sons arose, and every man gat him up upon his mule and fled.
So when they see that Absalom's servants kill this other brother now, all the other brothers them run. Because they don't know what happened. So jump on them mule, them horse, or whatever the road, and them whatever transportation it was, you know.
Good.
I don't think it was a Benz still. Maybe it was a Benz horse. He got up on his thoroughbred.
Good.
No, it was a car. They got up on their Mustang.
Yeah.
And they fled. Right. Why? Because they don't understand what happened. Then just one of them brother gets slayed. They don't know if they are next.
Good.
Continue.
Another one can. Verse 30. And it came to pass, while they were in the way, that tidings came to David, saying, Absalom has slain all the king's sons, and there is no one of them left.
Not one of them left. Now, this man who carry news, boy, he is not a good news reporter at all.
God.
He want to give David a heart attack. It's only one, you know. And his news. Is CNN that, you know?
Yeah.
This is fake news.
God.
All of your sons dead. Not one of them left. You know, this is classical Israeli right here, you know.
Yeah,
you can just picture the person come to the king with him 2 hands for them. He said, Lord God, David, King, Absalom, King, whole of you picking it, not one of them left.
The complete
drama. And guess what? He was just being CNN.
God.
Bringing fake news because it was only one.
Right.
All right, let's see what David did.
Another one can. Verse 31. Then the king arose and tear his garments and lay on the earth, and all his servants stood by with their clothes rent.
Yeah, man. Obviously, David remember what Nathan tell him.
God.
So him just go right into weeping right away. All right. But well, we are looking at it over 2,000 years later. So I mean, we can see the bigger picture, but you know, it was being played out right there.
God.
So David just took it as took the news as it was. Obviously, there was not much news channels around, just one, the fake news. So he couldn't listen to any other one. And he went right into mourning. Continue.
Another one can. Verse 32. And Jonadab, the son of Shemaiah, David's brother, answered and said, let not my lord suppose that they have slain all your young men, the king's son. For for Amnon only is dead. For by the appointment of Absalom, this has been determined from the day that he forced his sister Tamar.
Okay, so BBC chipping now.
Yeah.
With the real story.
God.
And say, disregard that story that you have heard before, that all the king's son is dead, is only one.
Good.
Right. So this man now come with a little more level-headed news. But the king was already in mourning him and him servant. But I mean, maybe that is part of the Most High's punishment as well. Bring this man tormenting David. You know, I will not leave you, but you're gonna have to bear some punishment.
Okay.
Just like your child, when a child misbehave and you whip them till them cry. I mean, you still love them. They're still your child. But, you know, they have to learn that they should not do this thing which cause you to whip them.
God.
All right, continue.
Another one can, verse 33. Now therefore let not my lord the king take this thing to his heart, to think that all the king's sons are dead, for Amnon only is dead.
Right. So right away now David know what happened.
God.
Because Amnon was the one who committed the rape.
Right.
Right. So the Most High's judgment or the Most High's laws will come to fruition whether we like it or not.
Right.
Because these which we are feeling now is really the Most High's judgment coming up at us, you know.
God.
Him tell you don't do X, him say don't eat pork, because now we don't have any law of the land that said don't eat pork, and to punish you, you eat it. But what take you after? Sickness.
God.
Yeah. And you know, Esau find all the medication for it, you know. Even give it nice name, medication. So you're sick, you go to the doctor and you go and you fill a prescription and take the medication for the pork and the shrimp and the crabs which you shouldn't have eaten.
Right.
Rather than, so that's the Most High punishing you. And the sickness that it bring on you is a sickness which can kill you if you don't take care of it.
God.
So just like sleeping with your sister, which is a death penalty, it being done in the king's house, probably it would have, you know, been swept under the carpet because it's in the king's house, and you know, we can't bring this shame on the noble ones. But the Most I tell you, I'm going to punish you openly. So you just make one brother murder the next.
God.
But guess what? The one who carry it out, you know, commit murder, that's unlawful too.
God.
So you see how the sword not departing from David's house? Because now Absalom is a murderer. Right? Switch now to give me Leviticus 20 and 17.
Another one can. Another one can. This is the book of Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 17. And if a man shall take his sister, his father's daughter, or his mother's daughter, and see her nakedness, and she see his nakedness, it is a wicked thing, and they shall be cut off in the sight of their people. He has uncovered his sister's nakedness. He shall bear his iniquity.
Right. This was what Tamar was bringing out to her brother, Amnon. This is folly. There shall be no such thing in Israel. But anyway, speak to the king. The king will not withhold me from you. Because Tamar know that once she go through that door, him can't catch her back. Right? But he would not listen. And it comes down now, his own sexual desire now cause him death. This is something which happened in other ways too, because a man desire his brother, the next Israelite woman. Wait until the man not over and go inside and sleep. Man come now, him run out of bed, go hide. You know how much man get gunshot on the bed? Yeah. Couple, and them call themselves rude boy. Yeah, that's the wrong kind of gangster. Yeah, man. We are gangster, but you know, you have to bring it in righteousness, just like David. Bring that gangster under righteousness, just like David did. The Most High was still with him, even though he was punishing him and giving him fake news to break his heart and all kind of thing. But the Most High was still with him. Just chastising him. Trust me, hey, the Most High whip hot, you know. Look at these punishment. These are no, it better you get 1 cat of 9. Squash. Scourge across your back and you bleed and you rub some dressing on it and you heal. But look at all these things that is taking place within the king's house. You know, this is tabloid stories. You can imagine in that time the source, the grapevine news that was taking place in the palace. God have mercy, you know, hear what is happening in the king's house today, man. Brother sleep with sister and brother kill brother. Yes, boss. And the king of ball here same while I'm son dead, but it ain't go so still, but him is still going mourning.
I see him, so they would have said it in a sir.
Yeah, it ain't right as fun. It ain't right as fancy as we see it in the Bible. Trust me. This was grapevine story. The topic for source, right? Because these were death penalty, rape, and then murder. All right, let's see what happened to Absalom.
Back to
you read the already. Right. So it is in our law not back to 2 Samuel. It is in our law to not we are told by the Most High. So this is trust me, Christian church has put us in such a mess. You tell the people that the laws are done away with. You know how much incestuous relationship taking place in, and I'm talking about our society here in Jamaica, in what we call high society. I'm not talking about the man in the ghetto. No. It happens there. But this kind of incestuous relationship is what plagues high society. Because guess what? They don't want the scandal in their house. So the father go sleep with the daughter and the mother find out, but she have to keep quiet. Right? Another sister or brother find out, but they have to keep quiet. And then the parents now start telling them, you know, this is just our family secret. We have to nurture it. And the one that is abuse, that's the one that becomes a mental patient.
Okay, good.
And develop sometimes hatred within the circle, the family circle,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the one that they despise. But that he or she, because as we say he or she, because sometimes it's not the female that is abused, it's the male.
Mm-hmm.
And you see the next offspring of abuse now, LGBT,
Mm-hmm.
because every single one of them has been abused,
Gun.
right? And you now want us to say, accept them.
Right.
Well, no, well, abuse, there should be no law against incest then. Since
Right.
as you're going to accept the victim rather than, yes, it happened, you become this way, but this is not the way you should have been.
Mm-hmm.
Let them know straight up. But you also accept them. So that means you're now going to create more abusers.
Right.
And they're going to continue to disregard the Most High's law. No. That's why the Most High is raising up warriors, right?
That's right.
And the army of Yahweh is ready.
Right.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The army of the Most High under Christ, who is Yahweh, is ready. And the Most High know that, so he start to make him move on Babylon. Waiting on some more soldiers, but I'm starting to make him move. Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
The lovely Omicron out there working, Omicron, well, there's only one him killed so far. All right, so now. Hello. All right, I'm in class. Yeah, man, I'm in class. I'm broadcasting. I'm in class. Give me a minute. All right, so the Most High's judgment is going to rain. When say let judgment rain down like what? When say rain or like a river?
Slakia.
How the Most High put it? In Tamar? Oh, by the way, you had your hand up.
It was something that you were speaking on as it relates to the whole incestuous conditions that exist within the church.
The church, Lord of mercy, that is the nest.
I've heard persons who are church members known of scandal of molestation of a boy, and the very church members came together and said, "Lord, it look bad. After we church and we can't carry it out into the public or it's embarrassing or something like that. So we seek to cover up."
So you turn the victim into further into you demonize the victim. Why? Because you don't want it to look bad. But it's gonna look bad. But just like how the Most High punished David openly, that's what he's gonna do with the rest of Israel. He's going to punish him. What's his name again?
Absalom.
When Kevin was working in secret.
Oh, gun.
Yeah, man. How did the Most High punish him?
In the open.
Openly.
Gun.
Right there in the open. Kill him in front of everybody. And just let it come out before everyone. Because how many people know about Kevin before that incident? Not much. I was one of them who knew nothing about him.
Right.
So with all the big birthday bash and thing he had in Montego Bay, most of us never know anything about him. Goodness gracious, what I'm doing it. Right, so this was the Most High punishing David right there in the open. We had verse what now?
Slakia, verse 34. Canada one can. Verse 34. But Absalom fled, and the young man that kept the watch lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, there came much people by the way of the hillside behind him.
So what do you think these people are coming to do? Come and see what is happening down there and to probably all Absalom is the king's son, so they might not murder him, but at least take him to the king for justice. What did Absalom do? Absalom flee. So you commit murder now and you have to run. Probably trying to make it to a what we call it again? City of refuge.
Yeah.
Probably was trying to make it to a city of refuge. All right, continue.
Canada one can.
Verse 30,
35.
35 now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Canada one can. Verse 35. And Jonadab said unto the king, behold, the king's sons come, as thy servant said, so it is.
Right. Jonadab said to the king, the king's sons come. As thy servant said, so it is. Meaning the last news, BBC News was the true news. The CNN one was the fake one.
Okay.
The first news there, that was CNN. BBC now telling them, yes, king, it just, as you heard the second news, your sons are here. They are okay. Continue.
Canada one can. Verse 36. And it came to pass, as soon as he had made an end of speaking, that behold, the king's son came and lifted up their voice and wept. And the king also and all his servants wept very sore.
Big mourning within where? Right there in royalty. Who was crying? Not the poor. Right there in royalty. This is how the Most High punish the wicked. It no matter who you be. It don't come hush and no, this is royalty. We have to sweep it under the carpet. We have to hold down the shame. No man. If you want to hold the shame, don't commit the sin. That's how the Most High work.
Right.
That's how he works, man. Because you committing the sin, why expose your head just like a naked woman. No woman want their nakedness to be out there in the bare, right? And the church, our church is also guilty of sweeping these things under the carpet, hiding it.
Right.
I wouldn't even name the Catholic. I'm talking about the church where the regular poor people then would go to.
Yeah.
Right? Things happen within those church and them hide it just the same. Well, they learn it from the bigger wicked man.
Gone.
But the Most High don't want us doing things like that. The Most High want us, how you put wickedness away from you if you're going to keep it hush.
Gone.
Nah. The Most High want you to punish the guilty. And by you punishing the guilty in the open, what that does is teach others who would have wanted to do the same thing. So if you do the same thing, this is what is going to happen to you.
Right.
So you dare not do the same thing as this that you have seen, you have witnessed. All right, continue.
Canada one can. Verse 37. But Absalom fled and went to Talmai, the son of Ammiud, king of Geshur, and David mourned for his son every day.
All right. Absalom fled and went to Talmai, son of Ammihud, king of Geshur, and David mourned. So he ran to another prince for refuge. David mourned for his son every day. Just like how you kill Uriah and make Uriah have children after the mourning, the Most High is showing your grief, what it is like to cause unwarranted, unnecessary grief.
God.
And it was a grief in which could have been avoided. But all because you can't control, you're a shepherd, but you can't control your rod. So you're using that rod to lead this sheep astray now. So the Most High show your grief. All right, so that's put him in mourning. All right, verse what now?
Verse 38. Another one.
Verse what?
Verse 38.
Oh, 38, right.
Yeah, man. Another one gone. So Absalom fled and went to Geshur and was there 3 years. Verse 39.
Absalom fled and went to Geshur. I see, so long it took him out there, like exile 3 years.
Gone.
Because, he just had to took it up on himself to, what's the word now?
All right, having some technical difficulties again. You know what I mean? In the meanwhile, just like the video. You know what I mean? Leave in the comments. You understand? You know what I mean? Sir will be back shortly. Yeah, so like Sir was bringing out, Absalom fled to, you know what I mean, to a different, you know what I mean, place to dwell with some, you know what I mean, a different, you know what I mean, outside of where the problem was, because he had slain his brothers. You understand? But like Sir was bringing out, this is because of the sin that David committed, you know what I mean, of killing Uriah and taking his wife. You understand? So the prophet Nathan told him that, you know what I mean, the sword shall not flee from your house. So, you know what I mean, this was this prophecy coming to fall. You understand? Sir, I'm bring you back here. Yeah, you went out for like a minute ago, a while ago, sir.
I didn't get that.
Yeah, you went out for like a minute or two.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
God.
All right, so right, so we should not take matters in we should not take judgment in
God.
our own hands. The Most High have prescribed.
All right. So, you know what I mean? Like the other one is bringing out, you know what I mean? You should not take judgment into your own hands. You understand? Salakia, sir. Yeah, you have some unstable connection, sir. Connection.
Yeah.
The rain that fall down there.
It was falling.
Yeah, man. That's why, man.
That is what caused it. I looking in the chat here.
Mm-hmm.
I know that Simon Lou. Mikey G 13.
God.
And Shalom, my Yasharites. Respect always I am that I am only. I don't know what I mean by that. All right, this man now speaking Spanish again. All right. All right, so this was all this is happening now. The most I just put in David and what's the word you would have to use now? Trouble in mind.
God.
No peace. You know how much stress on your mind that is one of your son kill the next and flee. Lord of mercy. Run God. And is one who could come and speak to you at the courts. Because Absalom could have go to the courts and speak to his father, the king. But such is it. Let's where are we now? 31.
39.
Mm-hmm.
Another one can, verse 39. And the soul of King David longed to go forth unto Absalom, for he was comforted concerning Amnon, seeing he was dead.
Right, so I'm get over the grieving of Amnon, but boy, I miss my son Absalom. I want to see my son. All right, give me Exodus 20 and 13.
Another one can. Another one can. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 13. Thou shalt not kill.
As plain and simple as that, thou shalt not kill.
Right.
How you know that what is the Most High is talking? We fought many battles, and the Most High send us on many missions to annihilate nations, to what's the word? Genocide, to perform genocide on nations. They kingdom to the dog and the pussy in the place. Nothing left, nothing. Desolation must be there after you've gone through. And take nothing. We don't want nothing from them. But when him said, "Thou shalt not kill," is he speaking with two mouths? Send us on so much kill mission while saying, "Thou shalt not kill." No. And you hear a lot of even Christians, but that's Christians. They're just a fan club. You know, the pastors are just motivational speakers, really. Trying to, you go to Sunday, eat Sunday, you got to be motivated for the next week. Come back out feeling nice, yes, and believing that you're feeling the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit was, let us say Holy Spirit. The Holy Ghost was in the church today, man. No, it's a feel good thing, was it? A man got dance and then come back and say, yeah, I feel good. Feel good is feel good. But that's not what the Bible. So when we say, when the Moses said, "Thou shalt not kill," what Absalom did, that's what the Bible is talking about. That was murder.
Right.
You planning to take someone's life. That's murder. You going to slay people in war. That's war. And the Most High is a God of war.
Right.
So in telling you not to kill, in talking about we the Israelite, don't kill each other. When there is war, that's different. All right? So Absalom committed murder. Absalom knew Amnon. You can try him by today's law, you know. And you can say that's murder one. He knew Amnon. He had Amnon in his heart, and the scripture tell you he hated Amnon. So that you see, there have to be a motive. What was the motive? You hate him.
God.
Why you hate him? Because you were aware that he did something to your sister. So there was motive. and then you carry out the action. So that's murder 101, man. So why the Most High allow it to happen? Because it's David's punishment. This sword won't depart from your house just because of what you did. All right, take me to 2 Samuel now, 14.
Another one can. Another one can. This is the book of 2 Samuel chapter 14 and verse 1. Now Joab, the son of Zeruiah, perceived that the king's heart was toward Absalom.
So now this is David's top general, David right hand bouncer, David number one killer. Joab realized Dan not so happy, him towards him miss him son. All right, so what him did now? Continue.
Another one can. Verse 2. And Joab sent to Tekoa and fetched thence a wise woman, and said unto her, I pray thee, feign thyself to be a mourner, and put on no mourning apparel, and anoint not thyself with oil, but be as a woman that had a long time mourning for the dead.
Mourned for the dead. All right, so feign thyself, meaning pretend yourself to be a mourner. So this is another scheme coming up now, Joab now. Get a wise woman and tell her, you know why? Tell her don't put oil on herself. Guess.
So that she look, you know what I mean? She don't look groomed, you know what I mean? Because the oil would be like lotion.
Make she look a little refined.
Yeah.
You know, that black skin is gonna get white. And look a kind of way. You draw your fingernail across it, you see it.
God.
Now, this is how you know that it was not white people in the scriptures.
God.
They wouldn't be neat. They don't have to put oil on them. They're already white.
God.
I mean, there's so many little things in the scriptures that point to who these people were. And yet still they think to continue the false doctrine. Right. So until I pretend you're mourning, don't put no oil on yourself and be as a woman long time in mourning. Continue.
Another one can. Verse 3. And come to the king and speak on this manner unto him. So Joab put the words in her mouth.
Right. Joab told her what to say.
God.
Joab, because it's his scheme now. Joab at work. Joab at work now. Continue.
Another one can. Verse 4. And when the woman of Tekoa spake to the king, she fell on her face to the ground and did obeisance and said, Help, O king. Verse 5. And the king said unto her, What aileth thee? And she answered, I am indeed a widow woman, and mine husband is dead. Verse 6.
Let's see how far let's see what is coming up out of the rabbit hole now.
Another one.
Pretending to be a widow. Go to King David. She's indeed a widow woman. Your husband dead in a widow. So continue.
Another one can. And thy handmaid had 2 sons, and they 2 strove together in the field, and there was none to part them. But the one smote the other and slew him.
Mhm. Yeah, man. That's all like Absalom and Amnon. Go on.
God. Verse 7. And behold, the whole family is risen against thine handmaid. And they said, deliver him that smote his brother, that we may kill him for the life of his brother whom he slew. And we will destroy the ear also. And so they shall quench my coal which is left, and shall not leave to my husband neither name nor remainder upon the earth.
Right. So this woman is indeed wise. She is putting the, but then again, it was Joab that put the word in her mouth.
God.
So, but she's wise in spinning it.
Yeah.
Because it's a story. This David, Absalom killed Amnon and has fled, and everybody want Absalom's head. And she's now coming to the king to pardon Absalom, asking the king to pardon Absalom, but she is doing it now in saying to pardon the one son that is alive, so that this son can continue being around her because he is now in exile, basically.
God.
Continue.
Another one can, verse 8. And the king said unto the woman, go to thine house, and I will give charge concerning thee.
All right, continue.
Verse
Meaning,
9.
go to your house and await judgment.
Okay.
Await my response, basically. Go on.
Another one can, verse 9. And the woman of Tekoa said unto the king, my lord, O king, the iniquity be on me and on my father's house, and the king and his throne be guiltless.
All right. So in other words, you do this thing, it's you are not, you pardoning my son won't make you guilty. It's on me and my father's house. Continue.
Another one can, verse 10. And the king said, whosoever saith aught unto thee, bring him to me, and he shall not touch thee any more.
Any man say anything to you, bring him here, son. Let me deal with him, and he can't touch you again. What that sound like?
That sound like a done.
Protection from a Dan.
God. Okay.
All right. But this is royalty. This is the throne. The throne exercise that power. You know, if I say they can't touch you, they can't touch you.
God.
But that is more than just the throne, you know, because the government in Jamaica tell a man, try to give protection, and the man out here, they kill the same way, though. Don't. Look how much man under police custody and they kill them same way.
Right.
But the truth and now, when say this man, no man don't touch him. They fear him so much they don't. So that was David.
God.
Yeah. Bad man David. Continue.
Another one can, verse 11. Then said she, I pray thee, let the king remember the Lord thy God, that thou wouldest not suffer the revenger of blood to destroy any more, lest they destroy my son. And he said, as the Lord liveth, there shall not one ear of thy son fall to the earth.
So David now swear. Him don't pick up what is going on yet, you know.
God.
But the woman keep pressing. Go on.
Another one can, verse 12. Then the woman said, let thine handmaid, I pray thee, speak one word unto my lord the king. And he said, say on.
All right. Now that you grant me this liberty,
Yeah.
I have one thing to say to you. Continue.
Another one can, verse 13. And the woman said, wherefore then hast thou thought such a thing against the people of God? For the king does speak this thing as one which is faulty, in that the king does not fetch home again is banished.
All right, so you're bringing it out now. Hey, Job a real general still, you know.
Salakia.
Yeah, Job is real general.
Salakia, sir. Joab a pull off something, you know what I mean? Like him copy Nathan, but Nathan the message and Nathan bring to David.
Right.
And I try pull off something similar. You see it, but not like Nathan that pull off anything, but he might try, you know, use the same tactic to kind of convince David.
Right. So him now, but the woman is wise too, because she's not discovered as yet.
Can.
So I make sure him draw for her, as the scripture say, a woman who is wise. So
Can.
is she now going to reveal unto him what she's really presenting to him? He says, so why you, your own son, well, she not say son, why, all right, let me put it how she put it.
Banish.
Wherefore, why then as you thought such a thing against the people of God? For the
Can.
king does speak this thing as one which you speak as if you're faulty, but you know, you haven't gone to fetch home again the one who is banished for 3 years now, your one son.
Can.
Continue.
Another one can. Verse 14. For we must need die and are as water spilt on the ground, which cannot be gathered up again. Neither does God respect any person, yet does he devise means that is banished be not expelled from him.
All right. Okay. We're going to die just like how you have water spilled on the ground and you can't get it up back. We're going to die one day.
God.
Neither does God respect any person, and is not a respecter of person. Yet doth he devise means that is banished or not expelled from him. So in other words, God don't respect person, him still punish the guilty, but him have a means to return his banished people to him.
God.
All right, let's see where she's going with this. 15.
Another one can. Verse 15. Now therefore, that I am come to speak of this thing unto my Lord the King, it is because the people have made me afraid. And thy handmaid said, I will now speak unto the king. It may be that the king will perform the request of his handmaid.
All right, go on.
Verse 16. For the king will hear to deliver his handmaid out of the hand of the man that would destroy me and my son together out of the inheritance of God.
Right, so, you know, this thing, but yeah, you say you would deliver me out of this. Continue.
Another one can. Verse 17. Then thine handmaid said, the word of my Lord the king shall now be comfortable, for as an angel of God, so is my Lord the king to discern good and bad. Therefore, the Lord thy God will be with thee.
All right, so basically bring home your son. God will be with you. Then,
Another one can. Verse 18. Then the king answered and said unto the woman, hide not from me, I pray thee, the thing that I shall ask thee. And the woman said, let my lord the king now speak.
all right, so like I'm pick up now what's going on.
Go on.
This now what she is speaking David into would be probably the first pardoning from man, because the Most High said, carry out in judgment. All right, continue.
Another one can. Verse 19. And the king said, is not the hand of Joab with thee in all this?
The king said, this have Joab written all over it.
God.
Tell me the truth. Is not Joab with you in that Joab set you up to do this?
God.
Good. All right, continue.
Another one can. And the woman answered and said, as thy soul liveth, my lord the king, none can turn to the right hand or to the left from aught that my lord the king has spoken. For thy servant Joan, he bade me, and he put all these words in the mouth of thine handmaid.
So David can't know. Is that? Tell me the truth. Joab put these things in the mouth. Don't.
God.
All right, continue.
Another one can. Verse 20. To fetch about this form of speech as thy servant Joab done this thing. And my Lord is wise according to the wisdom of an angel of God to know all things that are in the earth.
This is what I admire about Joab and David. They knew each other to the T.
God.
From the woman starts speaking and reveal, and to the David just know that it's Joab behind this.
God.
Right, and the same way in the truth, we have to learn to build brotherhood just like Joab and David, just like David and Jonathan.
God.
Jonathan is out the picture now. So who is David's right hand? Joab.
God.
David was able to write something to Joab as effed up as it was according to our laws, but Joab could have known what to do and play. This is like movie, you know. Their action there is nice script. Had it not been for the Most High over Israel, they would have gotten away with it.
God.
But the Most High came and just unveiled the mask.
Mm-hmm.
Because he knows the thing that will fester when you allow these little things to, as we would want to put it, slide. Huh? Now, just like in Jamaica, big US government come and teach our young men terrorist techniques.
Right.
And they have not been punished, and they have never remedied this situation.
Mm-hmm.
So you see what it fester out into now?
God.
And who is getting the blame? The victim is being blamed.
Right.
And those who are the kings, the king and his noblemen who sit in our parliament, beat that desk and smile every day.
God. Mm-hmm.
Right?
God.
And they know the guilty ones who were behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Yet you believe that it should be swept under the carpet. So, well, this is the result of sweeping it under the carpet. A bag of killers let loose in the country.
Right.
It's like the Most High say, okay, you want killers? I'll give you killers.
Right.
You understand?
God.
Had we gone after righteousness, he would say, okay, you want righteous men? I'll give you righteous men.
Mm-hmm.
But no, we want killers. So the Most High is giving us killers. Now, in this story, though, with David and Joab, David and Joab knew each other very well. And that's what made them good warriors. And that is why in the UPK, you know, we have in the Hebrew Academy training, the training is geared toward the same thing. Built on brotherhood, and to build brotherhood and trust, just like David and Joab, David and Jonathan.
God.
All right, continue.
Another one can. Verse 21. And the king said unto Joab, behold now, I have done this thing. Go therefore and bring the young man Absalom again.
Right, so the king now giving Joab they go ahead now. Say, all right, I have done this thing. I have said this, as they swear, as the Lord liveth, none shall touch you or your pickaninny for this guilt that is now over him. So I'm saying Joab knows. All right, go on.
Okay.
Go and bring home my son. All right. Oh no, 22.
22. Gone, sir. Verse 22. And Joab fell to the ground on his face and bowed himself and thanked the king. And Joab said, Today thy servant knoweth that I have found grace in thy sight, my lord, O king, in that the king has fulfilled the request of his servant.
Right. The king had fulfilled the So Joab didn't want to go to him himself and ask. So Joab get somebody to ask wisely for him.
Yeah.
And he got his request. And he's now praising the king for that. Because he
All right. Again, it seemed like we're having some technical difficulties. You know what I mean? So till sir come back in, you know what I mean? Like the other one is saying, you know what I mean? So Joab know, you know what I mean? Because he was afraid to approach David with that request. He sent the woman, and you know what I mean? Because he knew David, you understand? So he used this woman to persuade David, you know what I mean? And you know what I mean, that is a kind of brotherhood, you know what I mean, as well as the brotherhood between David and Nathan, you understand? And Jonathan Salakia, you know what I mean, that we should exemplify, you know what I mean, amongst us here in Jamaica as the children of Israel. You understand? So, you know what I mean? In the Bible is so much examples on how we should conduct ourselves. You understand? But we must also, you know what I mean, bear in mind, you know what I mean, the negatives, you know what I mean, the things that, you know what I mean, our Slakia, sir. You went out for like about 2 or 3 minutes now, sir. You pause when you say, Joab send the woman because him afraid to approach David.
no, well, not really afraid to approach David, but
Okay.
he want to he couldn't have done it himself. What he
Okay.
wanted to do is to bring out a city, bring this situation to David in another way.
Okay.
Like him know say, you know, right? Basically, him just want to get royal pardon for bringing back home, to bring home back Absalom.
Okay.
So if it is that it is Joab going for Absalom, Absalom is safe. So the king tell him to go bring back go bring him back.
Okay.
All right, verse what we were at now.
Salakia.
23.
Another one can, verse 23. So Joab arose and went to Geshur and brought Absalom to Jerusalem.
Continue.
Another one can, verse 24. And the king said, Let him turn to his own house, and let him not see my face. So Absalom returned to his own house and saw not the king's face.
Right. I don't want to see him. Don't make him come to my place. Continue. David never liked murder, I know.
Can.
Continue.
Another one can, verse 25. But in all Israel, there was none to be so much praised as Absalom for his beauty. From the sole of his foot even to the crown of his head, there was no blemish in him.
Yeah, that's when black man turn royalty, you know. We become we shine like polished brass, right? Shining like, you ever see when something which is golden and you
Yeah.
polish the gold? Right, that's us. And that was Absalom. Continue.
Another one can, verse 26. And when he polled Slakia, and when he polled his head, for it was at every year's end that he polled it, because the ear was heavy on him. Therefore he polled it, he weighed the ear of his head at 200 shekels after the king's weight.
All right, so meaning that he cut the ear because his ear was growing. He
God.
kept he wore braids.
God.
27.
Oh, so the polling mean cut it.
Yeah.
Okay. Another one can. Verse 27. And unto Absalom there were born 3 sons and 1 daughter, whose name was Tamar. She was a woman of a fair countenance.
So he named one of his daughter after his sister Tamar. All right, now for classic, we're gonna look for the word P-O-L-L-E-D.
Polled.
Right.
Another one can. Another one can. Polled of cattle, sheep, or goat, lacking horns either naturally or because they have been removed. Salakia. Don't think that is the one.
No. What does it mean your ear? Does it hold your ear mean? All right.
Okay, can.
You find that one?
I think I find one, sir. Salakia. Hold on. Another one can. Or cake, shorn of ear, ball.
All right. So here's one. What does pull your ear mean with the word? With the wool, ear, etc. Cut off or trimmed, lacking horn. So yeah, that's what he did. He cut it.
Yeah.
And he would do it each year because obviously his ear just keep growing. So we were that dreadlock nation.
Right.
So when his ear get that long, I want to turn on locks for him and cut it, not necessarily to ball, but cut it little lower.
Good.
All right, what it say now? It said he pulled his ear. Eh? Yeah, continue.
Another one can. Salakia. Verse 28. So Absalom dwelt 2 full years in Jerusalem and saw not the king's face.
For 2 years, I'm not seeing daddy.
Good.
Go on.
Another one can. Verse 29. Therefore Absalom sent for Joab to have sent him to the king, but he would not come to him. And when he sent again the second time, he would not come.
So Joab bring him home, but Joab himself not coming. Nobody not trust Absalom again. Because I see him he send the kings on them.
God.
Joab not going to trust him. All right, go on.
Another one can. Verse 30. Therefore he said unto his servants, see, Joab's field is near mine, and he has barley there. Go and set it on fire. And Absalom's servant set the field on fire.
So Absalom still don't forget how to make mischief.
Right.
When Joab come near him, so him set Joab field on fire.
Good.
Go on.
Another one can. Verse 31. Then Joab arose and came to Absalom and to his house, and said unto him, Wherefore have thou, Salakia, of thy servants set my field on fire?
Mm-hmm.
Verse
Why
30,
your servant burn down my barley, man? 32.
Canada 1 gun, verse 32. And Absalom answered Joab, Behold, I send unto thee, saying, Come hither, that I may send thee to the king, to say, Wherefore am I come from Geshur? It had been good for me to have been there still.
In
No,
other words, it's saying, why you want to bring me back from Geshur? You better me stay there. Still not seeing you, the father, not seeing you.
can.
Go on.
Canada 1 can. Now therefore let me see the king's face, and if there be any iniquity in me, let him kill me.
Right. Him can't live with that. Better if I'm guilty, make him kill me. Continue.
Canada 1 can. Verse 33. So Joab came to the king and told him, and when he had called for Absalom, he came to the king and bowed himself on his face to the ground before the king, and the king kissed Absalom.
Right. So him finally get to see the king's face. Now, all right, we're going to leave that there for this week. But this is a very interesting story unraveling, which show you how the Most High is not a respecter of person. Right? Not because you're a king. Our royalty is treated in the world today. All right. You remember the story that came out in America with, what's that man name again, where they have the top class warehouses?
Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein, yeah, can.
You know that someone from the royal family in England would
Right.
have been named.
Can.
But the Secret Service in England take it as their duty now to protect the royal family from things like those.
Can.
But obviously he went and slept with underage girl too, so I'm guilty. Not so in Israel.
Right.
The Most High punished the guilty.
Can.
Right? So him now showing David that your son commit rape. Justice was done, he was killed. But at the same time, it's still the sword in the house. Because now you have a murderer amongst you.
Can.
And David, that's why David don't want to look at him, don't want to face him. David have him as a murderer. And now Joab not trusting him because you burn me field for what? Because you want me come. So now you're voiding me of some money. All right. But Absalom was heartbroken and torn inside. 2 years now, no carry me back from where I am. You better me did stay there. Let me see the king if I'm guilty, if there's an iniquity found in me, make him kill me. I can't live with this. So this is the Most I know gearing up to bring sword in the house of David again. All right, question?
Yeah, no question.
Any questions, sis? No. All right. So with that, we pass the class to priest and officer Kayadon.
All right, clap it up.
Clap it up, sis.
All right, so these are the security announcements. Slovakia. All right, we are the I.S.U.P.K out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, and the commanding General YAHANNA. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or a sister comes into the school, They are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or a sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, you can find this in Numbers chapter 18 and verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3 verse 8 to 10, means tenth in the Hebrew and is pronounced ma'ashra. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you'd like to give. Upcoming Holy Convocation. All right, so coming up, we have the Feast of Purim, which is the 14th day and the 15th day of the 12th month. This is on Monday, the 14th of February, and Tuesday, the 15th of February next year. You can find this in the book of Esther, chapter 9, verse 20 to 31. Reminding Akiam and Aquatium to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK events and material. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he's to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. And with that, we say, Yeah, hear me, sir?
Can. No.
Okay, can.
I'm Adam.
Sarah Lapanya Akwadam, which means turn and face the east. We're going to say the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew and then in English. Abanawa. Shabashamaya. Kwadash. Aya. Shamka. Yahweh. Malakwata. Taba'a. Ratazaka. Aya. Aisha. Barataza. Kawa. Aya. Washamaya. Nathanlanawa. Lakam. Kal. Yawam. Wasalaklanawa. Kawabwatnawa. Kasalatnawa. Kawabwatyanawa. Wala'a. Tabaya'anawa. Banasayawan. Abal. Awashainawa. Mayan. Right. Kaya. Laka. Amalakwa. Wa'ala. Wa'atapara. La'aywalamyam. Amen.
In English, Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven.
Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts.
Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our debts,
as we forgive our debtors.
As we forgive our debtors.
Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.
Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory,
For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory.
forever so be it. Amen.
Forever so be it. Amen.
Prayer for the curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh,
Blessed are you, Yahweh,
King of heaven and earth,
King of heaven and earth,
and all things living.
and all things living.
Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh,
Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh,
listen to us now,
listen to us now,
right now.
right now.
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction
to the heathens that speak against us,
to the heathens that speak against us,
thy prophets,
thy prophets,
the teachers,
the teachers,
the princes,
the princes,
priests,
the priests,
the Israelite brothers and the school.
the Israelite brothers in the school.
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction
to the heathen,
to the heathen,
and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel,
and shake loose the treasures of the rich of Israel
that refuse to give to the school.
that refuse to give to the school.
Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary.
Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary.
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction
to the Edomites and the nations,
to the Edomites and the nations,
and their drug dealers,
and their drug dealers,
the court system,
the court system,
prison system,
the prison system,
Planned Parenthood,
Planned Parenthood,
all the governments of our enemies,
all the governments of our enemies,
Amalek synagogues and armies,
Amalek synagogues and armies,
Roman Catholic Church,
Roman Catholic Church,
the Pope,
Pope,
Islam,
Islam,
Christianity,
Christianity,
Egyptology,
Egyptology,
militia,
militia,
Ku Klux Klan,
Ku Klux Klan,
Aryan Nation,
Aryan Nation,
skinheads,
skinheads,
Wasikomitazi,
Pasikomatazi,
the gay movement,
the gay movement,
the lesbian movement,
the lesbian movement,
spies,
spies,
workers of witchcraft,
workers of witchcraft,
NASA space programs,
NASA space program,
Army,
the Army,
Navy,
Navy,
Air Force,
Air Force,
Marines,
Marines,
Wall Street,
Wall Street,
open up the internet and the airways,
open up the internet and the airways,
the cable access channels,
the cable access channels,
and the radio channels.
and the radio channels.
Convict the spirit of any of thy people
Convict the spirit of any of thy people
that seek to stop us,
that seek to stop us,
and bring swift destruction to all the heathen
and bring swift destruction to all the heathens
that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your word
that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your word
throughout the planet Earth.
throughout the planet Earth.
Let loose all the plagues.
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 Cause them to go to and fro
Cause them to go to and fro
through the earth
through the earth
and consume them.
and consume them.
Let the plague shake the house of the thief and the murderer.
Let the plagues shake the house of the thief and the murderer.
Let Yahweh, Michael, and Gabriel
Let Yahweh, Michael, and Gabriel
come down with the flying saucer
come down with the flying saucers
and punish all the heathens
and punish all the heathens
that come up against us
that come up against us
as we speak thy word.
as we speak thy word.
Cause it to be known by all
Cause it to be known by all
that it is the angels that have done it.
that it is the angels that has done it.
Cause it to be spread through the media,
Cause it to be spread through the media,
throughout the whole world.
through the whole world.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
In the name of Yahweh,
In the name of Yahawashi.
Thank you always, so be.
Thank you always, so be it. All right, this is the prayer for the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh Ba'asham Yahawashi.
Yahweh Ba'asham Yahawashi.
Baba Kwasha.
Baba Kosha.
Nathan Lanawa.
Nathan Lanawa.
Akak.
Aka.
Akak.
Aka.
Larapa'a.
Larapa'a.
Kalmakala.
Kalmakala.
Wakalmadawa.
Wakalmadawa.
Akak.
Aka.
Lata'ar.
Lata'ar.
Amatazaraya.
Amatazaraya.
Akak.
Aka.
La Akwaya.
La Akwaya.
Amathia.
Amathia.
Akak.
Aka.
Irakawa.
Irakawa.
Atamala.
Atamala.
La Garashan.
Garashan.
Ba'asham Yahawashi.
Ba'asham Yahawashi.
THAWADAH Aman.
THAWADAH Aman. In English, Yahweh in the name of Yahawashi.
Yahweh in the name of Yahawashi.
Please give us the power.
Please give us the power.
The power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease.
The power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease.
The power to cleanse the leper.
Power to cleanse the lepers.
The power to raise the dead.
Power to raise the dead.
Power against unclean spirits.
Power against unclean spirits.
To cast them out in the name of Yahawashi.
Cast them out in the name of Yahawashi.
Thank you, so be it.
Thank you, so be it. All right, let me get the prayer for the blessing. Salakia. Salakia. All right, this is the prayer for the blessings. Yahweh Ba'asham Yahawashi.
Yahweh Ba'asham Yahawashi.
Barak Lanawa.
Barak Lanawa.
Wayasharala.
Wayasharala.
Wa'a.
Wa'a.
Bayataparia.
Bayataparia.
Barak.
Barak.
Rapa'a.
Rapa'a.
Magan.
Magan.
Hagan.
Hagan.
Commanding General YAHANNA.
Commanding General YAHANNA.
The generals.
The generals.
The captains.
The captains.
The officers.
The officers.
The troopers.
Troopers.
The young men and the sisters.
The young men and the sisters.
Ba'asham Yahawashi.
Ba'asham Yahawashi.
THAWADAH Aman.
Okay, what you just read is what you just said was Lord, in the name of Yahawashi, bless us and Israel and the school. Bless, heal, shield, protect our loved ones in the name of Yahawashi. Thank you, so be.
All right, Sar, which means to turn. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher, men of Israel. Imadium Shabbat. Imadium. Barak. Yahweh Ba'asham Yahawashi Rakatah.
Yahweh Ba'asham Yahawashi Rakatah.
Yadamata. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the sister, men of Israel. Sar, which means turn and face the sister, men of Israel. Imadium Shabbat. Imadium. Barak. Yahweh Shamar Alatam Ba'asham Yahawashi.
Yahweh Shamar Alatam Ba'asham Yahawashi.
Yadamata. Class dismiss.
All right, to all our online viewers, remember, your tithes go to on ISUPKonline.com. All right, go to ISUPK online. Sorry, go to ISUPK.com. Go to ISUPK.com and pay your tithes. We'll ask you to like, press the like button on our videos. You know, always remember, if you view our videos, press the like button so that it can spread more. And we say, will this come out? So that we say to you, Shalom, until we meet again. All right. In this time of the pandemic, where COVID-19 has crippled the world, in this time of the pandemic, where COVID-19 has crippled the world economies, where our government has ordered nationwide shutdown, where hospitals are overwhelmed.
Shortly after, the unthinkable happened.
I was literally stunned and frozen.
And their religious leaders are proven to be frauds. Where do you go to get all your questions answered and to hear what God has to say about this matter? You can only find the answers in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commanding General YAHANNA. We give you scriptural breakdowns of world events and the up and coming world war. We will show you in the Bible where the children of Israel, who are the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans today, would suffer slavery in Jamaica, Caribbean, North, Central, and South America, and other parts of the world. We will show you in the Bible where God said he would send plagues upon the earth before he frees people from this captivity.
The World Health Organization has declared coronavirus a global pandemic.
We will give you the true teaching of the Bible, precept upon precept. To learn more, subscribe today and call the number in the description for I.S.U.P.K. Jamaica. Shalom. Sorry, online viewers, remember to sign in the class attendance sheet in the description and in the chat.